Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel, where we definitely know one thing for sure. The work in terms of the transfer market is never done. The second that one window closes, you are instantly turning your attention towards the next window and talking about what you need to improve upon. And it seems like Manchester United are doing the same thing, with talks from Muppeteers, a pretty reliable account, saying that United have already identified 5 positions they need to address next summer. That, of course, being right centre-back, left centre-back, right-back, a number 6 position, and also the right-wing position. Now, today, what we're going to do is go through 3 players for each division. So, that's right, I'm about to throw 15 different names at you guys, so get your pen and paper ready. It's time to do some scouting. So before we continue into the video, a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, JerseyFifa.com, the home of all of the greatest football kits. Whether that be the new latest releases or the old classic ones like this, Jersey FIFA has something for everyone, and now you can check it out yourself using the link in the description down below. And also make sure to use code JerseyFifa for 10% off when you order. So first up, we will start off with the right back position, where we have Fresneda, who of course recently moved to Sporting Lisbon. I was speaking about him a couple of weeks ago as a player that United fans need to watch this season, and literally I think within 24 hours of that video being uploaded, he made the move to Sporting, where I'm convinced he will see real good development to his game. And I think he will again be available next summer if a team comes in with a big offer. Here we're talking about physicality, press resistance, versatility, a little bit of everything. He's press resistant in that first phase, very technical, very good on the ball, and a very good passer. In terms of a tactical point of view, he can play left back, he can play right back, inverted full back, or as an overlapping right back, or even if you want, right centre back in a back 3. Defensively, he is very, very solid, good in 1 versus 1 duels, and physically he is very imposing, making him kind of the perfect profile of the modern day fullback. So keep an eye on him for that right back position. The same for Alexander Barr as well at Benfica, another very, very technical player, and that will be the theme through this list. United want technical players which can take the ball in different situations and manipulate the opposition to ultimately eventually control games. That is something which would suit the Danish right back. Someone very capable of receiving the ball in condensed areas and moving the ball to someone else. He's a high volume right back, very technical, very, very good on the ball, but also brilliant on the overlap, in that sense better than Fresneda. Barr is excellent at getting forward into the final third and swinging crosses into the box. Very, very good in that way. The way he hits across is very good, and it is something that Rasmus Højlund has actually benefited from at international level. So again, Barr is definitely someone you need to keep an eye on. In terms of defensively, he's very capable in 1 versus 1 duels. So again, for me, this is a player you've got to watch this season, because he could well be on the move next summer. The same for Mazraoui at Bayern as well. Now, last season, he didn't really have the season that he would have wanted. His game time was limited. This year, I think he will play a bit more. But in terms of if United want a right back, you shouldn't look too much further than Mazraoui, because he's so good. He can do everything. His technical ability is absolutely incredible. He's like a midfielder, incredibly press resistant in deep areas, versatile in the sense that he can play at right back, he can play at left back, he can overlap, he can invert. So technically good, it's unbelievable. His passing is top notch, progressive passing. He really does have the lot. In terms of if you're looking for a technically secure right back, this is the guy. He's just so good in every way. For me, the main one that I would be looking at from this list is Fresneda, simply because of that extra little bit of physique. Now we move on to that right centre-back position, where United need an eventual replacement for Raphael Varane, who we know has injury troubles. First on the list, Ousmane Diamond, another player which I've spoken about recently as someone you need to watch this season, and you guys already know the reasons. On the ball, incredibly press resistant, one of the most press resistant centre-backs in Europe at the moment. He is so comfortable and so confident on the ball in deep areas. But he's also a very, very good passer, making him an excellent progressive centre-back, someone who can always carry the ball forward and move the ball forward for your side. But also, he's really good from a defensive point of view. He's incredibly quick, he's very powerful, very strong, and in general, he's just a huge, huge prospect. I don't need to say too much on him here. He's a top player who you really need to watch this season. And the same goes for Antonio Silva as well. Now, Antonio Silva is a player that I've been talking about for some time now. You can rewind about 18 months. And I was talking about him as a player to watch last season. Last season he was absolutely incredible, and I'm expecting more of the same this season. The thing which really stands out to me from Antonio Silva's game is his defensive reading, awareness, scanning in all situations is just so good. From a mental point of view, from an intelligence point of view, Antonio Silva for me is a cut above the rest of the young centre-backs in the world at the moment. He's also very, very good on the ball. He's an excellent passer, excellent long passer, and again, someone capable of stepping forward with the ball into the middle third. Again, I don't need to say too much here. Such a good young centre-back. Watch him this season. He'll definitely be on the list for United. And the same for Todibo as well. Now, one of the reasons Todibo will most likely be on the list next summer is because he was on the list this summer. We know what we're going to get with Todibo. He's a very good carrier of the ball out from the back. He's a high volume passer, used to having the ball in that Nice side, kind of dominating the play, keeping the play ticking over. But he's also incredibly athletic, like I said already, able to step forward into the midfield. But importantly, that athleticism also shows from a defensive point of view. Very strong, very physical, very fast, able to go shoulder to shoulder with most players and win his duels, making him, importantly, a very, very good 1-versus-1 defender, especially in wide areas, something that United currently really lack. So again, Todibo is absolutely a centre-back you need to be watching this season. For me, the right-sided centre-back that I would probably most like looking ahead at the moment would be Ousmane Diamond. I think he has that extra bit of potential, combining that on-the-ball ability with incredible athleticism. However, maybe there would be a slight concern with having a young centre-back like Diamond next to a young right-back like Fresneda. But again, there's no guarantees with either of them. Watch all 6 of these players so far. Sporting also have another centre-back you should be watching as well, and it is Inacio, who could be perfect for that left centre-back spot. Now, apologies Sporting fans, you are my favourite club in Portugal. I watch you as much as I can. Unfortunately, I'm suggesting that your right back in Fresneda, your right centre-back in Ousmane Diamond, and your left centre-back in Inacio could all be up for sale next summer if big offers come in, so I do apologise for that. But the reason again here is because technically he is so good. One of the most high volume centre-backs in all of Europe, so comfortable on the ball, genuinely press resistant in the way that he plays. He's excellent at playing the ball out from the back, but also stepping forward, kind of carrying the ball forward into different areas. He's once again versatile. He could play left centre-back in a back 3. He can play right centre-back in a back 3. The only concern for me would be kind of the adjustment period it takes to move into a back 4. That would be a slight concern. But again, this is a wonderful player, technically so good on the ball, but also defensively very agile. Again, he's pretty good in 1-versus-1 situations, allowing him to kind of quickly turn and deal with the attackers. Again, this is a top player. And another top left-footed centre-back is Hanko at Feyenoord. Now, this kind of suits that model of Ten Hag wanting players from the Dutch league. Hanko is kind of everything that we've said so far about all of these players. He's incredibly high volume, someone who has a lot of the ball and is super comfortable in possession. But also, not only is he super comfortable and going to retain the ball for you, he's incredibly progressive. Something that we often see at Feyenoord is that the centre-backs are allowed to kind of step forward and be quite expressive. That is something which really suits Hanko. Excellent at stepping forward into midfield, from where he's super progressive, even creative to an extent in the final third as well. Genuinely a top player on the ball, super comfortable. But also out of possession as well. He's very solid. He's very strong in a tackle, likes to defend on the front foot, but also capable of being dragged out into wide areas. He could genuinely play left back if you wanted him to, because he's very good in 1-versus-1 situations. Again, good at defending those wide positions. He's a real good option, he really is. And the same goes for Facundo Medina of Lens or Lens. I still don't know how to say it, I do apologise. Again, what you get with Medina is it's a very similar profile. Someone who is incredibly technical, incredibly comfortable on the ball, happy to receive the ball from the back, but also progressive in nature in the way that he plays. Very capable of stepping forward with the ball into midfield. But I think what I like the most is his genuine press resistance in deep areas. He is the sort of player, a bit like Lisandro Martinez, who can kind of swivel on a pivot to kind of avoid pressure and then carry the ball forward from there. And again, very progressive and creative in the way that he plays. My only concern would be that aerially he isn't the greatest. However, to an extent, he makes up for a lot of that with his aggressive nature. Always on the front foot, trying to put the tackle in. Now, the left centre-back one is a bit of a difficult one to really predict and talk about too much, because we don't know the situation entirely. Does Ten Hag want a backup for Lisandro Martinez? Does he want a starter and move Lisandro Martinez to left back? We're not completely sure. In terms of just trying to base it from a neutral point of view, somewhere in between the two, I think my bet would probably be Medina from Lens. I think he would probably be the best option for this position. But again, watch all 3 players because they are all very good. Next up, it appears as though Ten Hag does want a new 6 next season. Now, there's a chance that Sophie and Amrabat. So it's a bit of a hard position to predict. But probably somewhere near the top of the list for a new six, a completely new six, would be Mats Bijfer, again of Feyenoord, because again he's a bit of an all-action player that can do a little bit of everything, but most importantly, he can retain the ball. He is an excellent retention midfielder, excellent at picking the ball up in one position and giving it to someone else, laying it off to someone else. Now, is he entirely a six? Potentially not. Maybe slightly better suited to a double pivot, which could hold him back in his career a little bit moving forward. We'll see as a pure number six. But still, he's incredibly retentive on the ball, very good at keeping the ball for his side. But importantly, he can progress the ball forward as well. He's excellent at getting the ball moving forward through the lines, and he has this brilliant understanding of when to do so. So when to slow it down, when to keep the ball for your side, but then when to flick that switch and play the ball forward. In terms of off the ball, very athletic, covers a lot of ground. His recovery numbers are absolutely immense in pretty much every single game that he plays. And also, he's really very good in the air, which this United team lacks at the moment. Mats Bijfer would go a long way to addressing that. Now, again, like I said, question marks over whether or not he is a pure six, but certainly a good deep midfielder who could be moulded. So again, keep an eye on him, and the same for Federico Redondo. Again, one of those players I was talking about a couple of weeks ago as someone you need to watch. Redondo has it all. Redondo can be something special. The Argentinian talent is top. He's so good. Incredibly press resistant in the first phase, able to receive the ball under pressure, turn away from danger and play from there. All thanks to the fact that his scanning is absolutely brilliant, constantly checking his shoulders to know what is around him, so that when he receives the ball, he knows which way to take his first touch. It makes him incredibly press resistant. In terms of moving forward from there, on the ball, a very retentive passer, keeps the ball very nicely for his side. However, a bit like prime Sergio Busquets, also knows how to move the ball forward through the lines and can be genuinely incisive with his passing, moving the ball through the opposition and genuinely hurting them. Add to that the fact that defensively he covers a lot of ground, very athletic, has long legs to make a tackle. You've got yourself a good young number six here who, again, you just have to watch. He's so good. As is Zubamendi of Real Sociedad, now a little bit older than Redondo, but still a player who has so much room to develop. Is a real fundamentally sound player here. Now, one thing I really like about him is that he always makes himself available for the pass. Not a player which is happy to kind of get stuck behind an opposition's shadow press. He's always moving into different positions to make himself available. Having made himself available and got the ball, he's probably not quite someone that I would label as press resistant at this moment in time. However, something he is again someone who's very good at keeping the ball for his side. Technically, very secure, making him a good retention midfielder. Someone who can keep the ball for his side, and importantly, cycle possession. Be that player who you get the ball from one side and you're going to play it out to the other side. Then if it comes back, you're going to play it out to the other side. He's really good at kind of ticking things over is probably the best way of wording it. I would say he just keeps kind of the play ticking over for his side. But again, like the other two midfielders we've looked at, when he wants to, when he needs to, when he feels it is right to do so, he's very good at playing the ball forward through the lines into the feet of his attackers. So again, he's a wonderful player in that way. Off the ball, he's not the biggest at about 5'10", but very good in the duel. Very good. Apologies for my voice going a little bit there. Really good in the duel, really aggressive in the way that he plays. He's not a bruising midfielder like some, but he's very intelligent and nearly always wins the ball back for his side. In terms of my number one for this list, I would go for Redondo, with the aim being you use the likes of Amrabat and Casemiro for now, maybe move Kobe Mainoo to more of an 8 position, then in a couple of years, Redondo becomes your number 6. That would be my plan, but again, all three players are great options. Finally, we have the right wing position, and we're going to start with Elise, who is of course one of the only players, if not, just looking through, the only player on this list who is Premier League proven. A player who has proven that he can do it at the top level and can deal with the physicality of the Premier League. Now, very left-footed, he does want to come inside a lot. He's not necessarily a player who's going to stay wide on the right. He prefers to cut inside onto his left foot, from where his body feints are excellent at throwing the weight of his opponent, kind of getting his opponent off balance, allowing him to beat them, from where he's very creative. His crossing's very good. He's excellent at putting the ball into the box. His delivery is genuine top quality. But importantly, he can go the other way as well. He prefers to cut inside, but he can go the other way. He can get to the byline and cut the ball back with that right foot, which is definitely something which is needed if United are to get a new right winger. Add to the fact that playing for Crystal Palace, he's pretty good defensively. He understands that he's got to put a shift in, help his teammates from a defensive point of view. And again, you've clearly got yourself a top talent. But the one for me which I really like on the right wing is Bakayoko of PSV. Linked with a move to Brentford in the summer, but he turned it down. Bakayoko could be a top player. His pace, his acceleration, his 1v1 dribbling are all, in my opinion, already of the top level. In terms of, if we're talking about an isolation winger here, this is someone who can get you in a 1v1 situation and just destroy you with skill, with quick footwork, but with pace, but also with unpredictability. Ambidextrous, he can go either way, inside onto that left foot, outside onto the right foot. He can do both, and that is such a dangerous weapon because it makes you unpredictable. It makes it difficult for the defender to read what you're going to do next. There's a top player here. Add to that the fact that his final delivery is pretty good. His end product, his crosses into the penalty area are very, very decent. And there's a player here who, given a season to develop with PSV, could be really going for big money next summer. The same for Nico Williams as well at Athletic Club Bilbao. Again, you're getting a similar profile here to what you get with Bakayoko. Very, very quick. We saw that in glimpses at the World Cup towards the back end of last year. Very, very quick. Very, very good in 1v1 situations. Very skillful, very tricky, very, very good dribbler. And again, very two-footed. He can go either way. He can go on the inside, making him tactically versatile, but also he can go on the outside as well to create situations from there. Nico Williams is a bit more of a raw talent. I would say Bakayoko is a little bit more complete. Williams is a little bit more raw in the way that he plays, but still there's a top talent here because a 1v1 dribbler, which is so comfortable on the ball, can use either foot, can go either way, and has a lot of pace and acceleration, is always going to make a good player. Again, for the right wing position, Bakayoko is the player that would be top of my list. But again, all three talents are worth watching. And you know, those are the 15 players that I would be looking at for those alleged 5 positions which Ten Hag wants to strengthen next summer. But I think we're just about done for today's video. That's a lot of talking. I hope you guys have managed to kind of keep track of all that, keep note of all of those 15 players. Let me know which ones you like the most at each position. Also, let me know some names which I've forgotten in this video. Let me know which of these players you've seen before, which of these players you're now going to watch this season. All of that, let me know in the comments down below. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.